Hello, friends. Welcome to our channel Learn with Nishman, and we are going to start our this video with very new law, that is Constitutional Law of India. You are all well acquainted with this term constitution, right? And in from now we are going to start a brief reading, a deep study about what our constitution says, why it is laid down, what is the importance of constitution, what are the articles inside this tells us, what are the basic human rights we have. So we are going to study this constitutional law of India, right? And in today's video we are just going to discuss introduction, right? So that you can have basic idea what does it means, what our constitution says, what does it have, and what we are going to study in further videos, right? So bache, you have heard the term satyamev jayate. That is the principle our constitution follows. Our constitution tells us that our country should work upon what principle, right? That principle is laid down in constitution, what is to be done and how it is to be done. जितने भी लॉज हैं वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की पेरिफ्री के अंदर रहकर बनाए जाते हैं, राइट बच्चे? हमारी जो लॉ मेकिंग बॉडी है वो सबसे पहले कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की बाउंड्रीज़ को कंसीडर करती है, और तब हमारे जो लॉ आते हैं, फ्रेम होते हैं, वो इसी के अंदर फ्रेम होते हैं. ओके, सो एवरी अदर लॉ वट एवर इट इज़ फॉर, वो संविधान से कंफर्म होना चाहिए. संविधान, यू नो द टर्म कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, it's the Hindi meaning संविधान. How a country will progress, it is through constitution, and who will help in its progress are the members chosen by people through election, right? We choose the people that form the government. Government बनाने का तरीका भी constitution में दिया हुआ है. In our country there are two levels of government, that is at state level government and central level government. In state we have like पर्टिकुलर हरियाणा की गवर्नमेंट कौन है, राजस्थान की गवर्नमेंट कौन है, जो इलेक्शंस होते हैं. एंड सेंट्रल इज़ द यूनियन गवर्नमेंट, ओके, विच रन्स ओल कंट्री. सो हमारे देश का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बच्चे सबसे बड़ा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है इन वर्ल्ड बिकॉज ऑफ डाइवर्सिटी अमंग इंडिया. We have different kind of people, different kinds of languages, different kind of religions in India. Constitution is supreme law of India. So the largest constitution, right? Supreme law of land. Okay, all others law have to conform to the constitution. Means constitution and it's the law. Law have to follow the guidelines of constitution. The constitution contains law concerning the government and its relation with the people. Okay, गवर्नमेंट और जो पीपल के बीच का जो रिलेशन होता है बच्चे, दिस रिलेशन इज मैंडेट बाय कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज कंसर्न विद बच्चे टू मेन एस्पेक्ट्स, राइट? रिलेशन बिटवीन टू लेवल्स ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. लेवल होते हैं हमारे, दैट इज स्टेट लेवल एंड सेंट्रल लेवल गवर्नमेंट. तो इनके बीच का जो लेवल होता है वो एक मेंटेन करता है हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, एंड बिटवीन गवर्नमेंट एंड इट्स सिटीजन. ऑल राइट, सो हाउ विल यू से constitution, right? Then it's government, it mandates two things, government and the people. गवर्नमेंट में भी बच्चे हमारी थ्री बॉडीज़ होती हैं that we are going to discuss further. One is legislative, second one is judiciary, and the last one is executive. Okay, legislative is the body which makes laws, right? It makes laws. Judiciary interprets those laws, right? It takes out the meaning of those laws. And executive is enforces those laws. I hope I'm clear. Okay, so this is all you should know about constitution. अब बच्चे अगर आपसे कोई टेक्निकल डेफिनेशन पूछ ले ऑफ दिस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, तो अगर आपको उसको डिफाइन करना हो, हाउ विल यू डिफाइन? देखिए, यू विल से अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज अ सेट ऑफ फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल्स. सो इट इज सेट ऑफ fundamental principles. Fundamental means basic principles, right? Or established precedents according to which a state here, if we are talking about state, it means whole of the country, right? A state or other organization is governed, right? तो इन फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल के अकॉर्डिंग स्टेट क्या होती है बच्चे, गवर्न की जाती है, वो एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन होता है. ओके, सो दीज रूल्स टुगेदर मेक अप that is constitute what the entity is, and when these principles are written down into a single collection or a set of legal documents, the document may be said to comprise a written document. Okay, and our constitution is a written document. We have written proofs of our constitution. Okay, so the document containing laws and rules which determines and describes the form of the government, the relationship between the citizens and the government, that document is known as constitution. Very easy बच्चे. Okay, even हमारे Patrick Henry, okay, he said the constitution is not an instrument for the government to restrain the people, right? आप restrict नहीं कर सकते. Constitution doesn't restrict our powers. It is an instrument for the people to restrain the government, right? It is through constitution बच्चे that people can restrain the government, or they can have a check on the government policies. They can check how the government is running, right? What are the rules making by the government? Okay, what are the rules made by the government for them? That is going to be checked by people through this constitution. Okay, so basically our constitution, there are two views. One is a narrow view and other one is the wider view. Narrow view में बच्चे क्या कहते हैं regarding the constitution, that articles that are written, articles comprises the narrow view, right? And the wider view constitutes articles plus some constitutional practices. So if only articles, it was the narrower view of constitution, and articles plus practices, that is the wider view. So constitutional practices में क्या आता है बच्चे, how the constitution functionaries behave in certain circumstances, and this wider view is more acceptable because articles of the constitution are silent on some issues. Okay, for example, who will appointed as CJI, right? So that practices gives us more definition, make us more clear about how these articles are going to be used. So this is the wider view which we accept for the definition of constitution, right? So constitutional law जो है बच्चे हमारा, उसमें क्या क्या include होता है, articles plus practices plus conventions plus judicial decisions, previous judgments जिसको हम बोल देते हैं. Okay, so these four things will together called as constitutional law. Okay, right? Constitutionality किसको बोलते हैं बच्चे, the validity of something in terms of constitution is called constitutionality, right? अगर कोई चीज़ constitution के अकॉर्डिंग नहीं है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के बिल्कुल विपरीत जा रही है, ऑपोजिट हो रही है, तो हम उस चीज़ को क्या बोल देते हैं, अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल, राइट? एंड समथिंग विच इज़ फॉलोइंग द रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन ले डाउन इन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, दैट इज सेड टू बी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनैलिटी, राइट? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रैक्टिसेस और ये कन्वेंशंस किसे कहते हैं बच्चे, दीज आर द वेरियस प्रोविजंस ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एज रिटन, राइट? बहुत सारे हमारे आर्टिकल्स रिटन हैं, है ना, बट दे आर साइलेंट ऑन सम इश्यूज लाइक व्हाट इज टू बी फॉलोड, व्हाट इज नॉट टू बी फॉलोड, है ना. सो देयर मे बी सर्टेन एरियाज वेयर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज साइलेंट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज साइलेंट ऑन इशू वेदर अ पर्सन कन्विक्टेड ऑफ एनी ऑफेंस, राइट, बाय द ट्रायल कोर्ट. सो उस जो कन्विक्टेड है वो पर्सन, कैन ही बी क्लेम अदर राइट्स. तो इसमें हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन साइलेंट है. गवर्नर इन सच केसेस हैज़ टू इवॉल्व द हेल्दी लॉ एज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज साइलेंट. इससे रिलेटेड देखिए मैं आपको एक केस समझाती हूँ बच्चे, ताकि आपको अच्छे से समझ में आए कि जो हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल लॉ है वो प्रैक्टिसेस और कन्वेंशंस को क्यों इंक्लूड करता है. वाई नॉट ओनली आर्टिकल्स. सो बिकॉज आर्टिकल्स इन सम केसेस आर वेरी साइलेंट. देखिए हमारा एक केस था बच्चे, केस वॉज B.R. कपूर वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ तमिलनाडु, राइट. और ये केस हमारा 2001 का है. 5 जज बेंच थी बच्चे, राइट. तो इसमें क्या कहा था, जो जयललिता थी वॉज कन्विक्टेड ऑफ करप्शन चार्जेस बाय द ट्रायल कोर्ट. आफ्टर this conviction she went into appeal in high court. Now in meantime जो elections थे वो आ जाते हैं, and the first issue came whether she could contest elections. She could contest elections, yes, because Representation of the People Act, as she filed an appeal after the conviction. तो उसमें अगर इन्होंने अपील फाइल कर दी थी उसके अकॉर्डिंग she can contest an election. Now the manifesto of her party clearly said that she could become CM if AIDMK, जो उनकी पार्टी थी, AIDMK came into power, she will become the CM. So AIDMK came into power, हो भी जाता है. And then the question came whether governor can invite the leader of AIDMK to form the government. The governor didn't do any examination, and the fact that her name was declared in manifesto, the governor invited her to become CM, right. So the Representative of People Act didn't make it illegal, but the matter was the discretion of governor. सब बात किस पर डिपेंड करती थी, गवर्नर की डिस्क्रिशन पर. Then Supreme Court held that there was no illegality in her appointment. The importance of this case hence lies that constitution is silent, है ना, constitution silent था on this issue, and the governor had to evolve healthy practices. गवर्नर ने एक प्रैक्टिस देखनी थी, keeping the spirit of the constitution. So you have to follow a practice, और वो practices भी हमारी constitution में add होती हैं definition में, right. The governor could have appointed or invited some other person too. There are certain inherent principles of constitution which ought to be followed, and every constitutional machinery is bound to follow the essence and the spirit of constitution. This is called positive morality, right. आपको उसकी spirit को भी follow करना पड़ेगा constitution की. समझ में आया बच्चे? So every constitutional functionary is duty bound to follow the explicit or implicit guidelines of the constitution, means those which are laid and those which are not laid but implies somewhere, those guidelines are also to be followed. This duty is called the constitutional or positive morality of the said constitutional functionary. Okay, he has to evolve healthy practice and conventions in such matter in the broad spirit of the constitution. Alright बच्चे, any discretionary power given to the constitutional functionary, यहाँ पर constitutional functionary किसको बोला गया है, गवर्नर के लिए यूज़ किया गया है, right. So governor has to be exercised in light of the spirit and essence of the constitution. So in this present case, even जो हमारी जयललिता हैं, if Jayalalitha appointed as CM may not have been legally incorrect, it was the constitutional duty of the governor first to explore whether any other member of the same party could have been appointed. तो ये उनकी खुद की discretionary power है, उनको क्या देखना है क्या नहीं देखना है. This is all our constitutional law is. Right बच्चे, your next term that comes is constitutionalism. राइट, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म, जिसको हम कहते हैं संविधानवाद, राइट. तो संविधानवाद क्या है बच्चे? हेयर ism, this constitution ism जो word है, that is ideology, belief, faith, right? So constitutionalism is the philosophy that any society can be organized on the basis of rules and regulation. A society, in order to be durable society, has to function on the basis of certain rules and regulation, right बच्चे? जो हमारी belief है constitution पे, वही constitutionalism कहलाती है, एक society की belief. So constitutionalism is also about that constitution is supreme. The essential identity, a principle of the constitution is essential. The principle of social justice is required in any society. Constitution has certain basic traits, okay, which its identity and the same cannot be taken away, okay. So this is all for today. Now you all are clear about what our constitution is, right bache? You get basic idea about constitution, and in next video we are going to discuss why do we need constitution, what is the importance of constitution, how we framed it. So that's all we are going to discuss. Stay tuned. Thank you. Have a nice day.